Sound check. Sound check. Alright, welcome to Can Angels Fly? My name is Nancy. It's going to be a moment before I begin this live stream because I have to set up my, what do you call it? I don't know, the profile to this live stream before I begin. Up front, I like to apologize for the airy sound. I'm sitting right next to my air conditioner and it's a bit humid, so I got to keep it on. Again, it's going to be a few minutes before I get started. So I have to, again, how the heck I get to my stuff? Let's see. And then every time I get on here, everything moves very, very slow. So I can't say exactly when I will start the stream, but it'll probably be under 5 minutes until I can figure out how to do this more effectively. Unbelievable. Nevertheless, I hope you all are having a wonderful day. And it's still taking a very long time. Okay. In this live stream, I can say this. I guess I can give a synopsis of what I plan to do during this live stream. After I get my video profile or details set up, this video here is a part 2. I did a part 1 to the River Boat Brawl in relationship to astrology. Here in part 2, I'm finishing that video where I covered all 11. I covered 11 out of 12 zodiac signs, and together we watched my shorts, and then we also watched my extended forecast for each zodiac sign, and then infused our reality, the reality of what happened at the Alabama Boat Brawl, on top of my astrological message that shows I was like right on the on point with my interpretation. I shared in the first part, hey, I use generalized terms and statements that I have come up with personally to try to convey the message that seems to be forecasted in the stars. And so I'm through this series of videos, these Alabama River Brawl videos, I'm showing how to refine my astrological interpretation. I'm sorry, y'all. This is taking forever. Everything wants to take forever. What am I doing? I'm trying to set up my video details, and it's moving extremely slow. And so I can move no faster than the computer and the internet is running. I got the best, I'm supposed to have the best high-speed internet. I pay good for it, but I don't know about the service. Let's see if I'm near. I'm just beginning to set up my profile or whatever it's called. I really hope you can hear me and can hear me clear. Again, I apologize for the airy sound. It's stuffy where I am, and so my air unit, my air conditioner is right beside me. Why did it do this again? Making me have to start over. Yep, making me have to start over. I'm sorry. Again, I'm setting up my profile. It just prompted me to have to start over. So I'm starting over. Setting up my profile. Trying to move quickly. So anyway, oh, there it goes. Went past it. What I'm going to do in this live stream again is finish my we're going to finish viewing the very last zodiac sign in Pisces, my shorts on Pisces August 2023 forecast, as well as the extended version. Then I'm gonna overlay our reality of what happened at the Alabama River Boat Brawl over that to just see how accurate I am. After that, I'm going to move into let's see, I wrote it down and then moved everything around. After that, first I got to start off. Before even doing that, I have to what do you call it? Goodness, Always forgetting. Well, I got one thing done on this thing. Trying to multitask. So that is assisting in. Uh, oh, Jesus. Rippity Christ. I'm trying not to cuss, y'all. I am, I have to, what do you call it, an update or, gosh dang, do a recall of part one. And as we do a recall of part one, I have a chart within my presentation in which we will begin to fill out the answers for September of 2023, so we can begin to see what is to occur or scheduled to occur for September of 2023. Then when I get to Pisces, we're going to finish with Pisces, and after that I'm going to talk about the legal charges that people are facing and things like that. And then I'm going to move into giving some conspiracy relative to this Alabama brawl. As soon as this doggone thing lets me finish that setting up, really taking a long time, I know that much. Just try to stay calm and ride this little wave here. Takes so long. Okay, I'm almost done. Maybe. Okay, I think I'm done. As soon as it saves, I will be coming straight to you. I'm assuming that it's saved. Okay. Again, welcome to Can Angels Fly? The title of this video is Alabama River Boat Brawl Part 2, August 2023 Astrological Update. Okay, so I did a part 1 that covered zodiac signs, Aries through Aquarius. Together, we watched my shorts as well as my extended forecast for each zodiac sign and overlaid the current event of the Alabama brawl. And so we're going to go. Hopefully you watched that. Yes, it was absolutely long. I enjoyed it. I think it was about 5 hours long. This one I don't think is going to be as long. I don't know. Anywho, so what we're going to do, the way I'm going to review, that's the word, review part 1, is to start filling in the answers for September of 2023. The chart you see me within is a chart of the planetary alignments for the early half of September 2023. And so, I hope this doesn't malfunction. What I'm doing right now is I'm pulling up a text box in order to enter the information that we know occurred or was revealed to us through the event. I'm going to call the Alabama River Boat Brawl the event or incident that occurred on August 5th, 2023. Okay, so we're going to start with the... I can't see my box. Oh, I can move it. Okay. We're going to start. I have a magnifying glass. We're going to... Oh, I can't move it. But we're going to start in the lower left box. I believe it will be left when you, from your perspective. Lower left box. And in the lower corner, it says SG2. SG2 is second house Sagittarius. In part 1, what did we learn about Sagittarius, if you can recall? If you can't, I'm going to share what we learned about Sagittarius and what Sagittarius meant. Sagittarius is a representative of tainted ideologies. What tainted ideologies were being referred to when I did part 1? Well, it was the ideology of white supremacy, of having the sense of entitlement or white privilege, as well as the doing the works to build and sustain a corrupt system, a system that is biased. Okay, so in short, because there's not a lot of space, I'm going to type in, hopefully this works. Let me change the color of my font. I really want to make it bold something. So you're kind of, helping me, or where is it at? Helping me set up. I'll do it like that, maybe like that. Let's see how that works. We'll see. Do my research for September's astrological message. So we know that Sagittarius meant in part 1 tainted. Did I hit the wrong button? I'm not spelling that right. I might be spelling that wrong. I'm quite sure I am. I'm not going to worry about it. I will correct it at a later time. So, let's see. You actually with me as I do my work. So this box right here, that's what our experience this month of August 2023 has revealed that the astrological message was talking about tainted ideologies. I have moved to define those tainted ideologies, which is the believing in white supremacy. Remember, here's my magnifying glass. SG is Sagittarius. 2 is the second house. This is what you values. These are your values. So this second house Sagittarius refers to a specific grouping of people's shared tainted ideology. That's what they value. Okay, and it helps to define their value system. Just reviewing part 1 and what we covered, going through zodiac signs, Aries to Aquarius, because that's all I covered. Here at the end, I'm covering Pisces when I'm done with this. So what else did we learn? Let's see. Let's go over here, following the magnifying glass. What did we learn about Gemini? In part 1, we learned that Gemini was referring to one thing was about shared space, the management of shared resources. What shared resources are we talking about? Because we're talking about society sharing resources, the rat race, to get to the bag, to get the resources. And so I got to open up another text box. I hope this thing don't glitch out on me doing it. I don't know how it's going to go. Playing it all by ear. We'll see. Okay. So we're talking about shared resources, but what terminology can I use? Because we're talking about earthly experience. We're talking about USA. We're talking about the USA. We're talking about the distribution. Okay, we're talking about, I can use that maybe. Distribution. I'm about to have a distribution of resources. See, I want to put in the USA. I don't know if it'll accept all that. So, but it's in the USA. So there, that's what this one means. So let me shrink it so it'll fit. Move my magnifying glasses out of the way. Magnifying glass. Hold on, y'all. I had to shrink the box so it'll fit. Don't start with me. Alright. This box is about the distribution of the resources here within the United. Just talking about. Let me try to clarify because I'm trying to move forward quickly and try not to open up so many text boxes that it causes my live stream to glitch or shut down. So what am I doing? I am reviewing, I think that's the word to use, part 1. In order to finish my astrological update for this month. Originally, I did astrological forecasts. I did that back in July. I did shorts and I did extendeds for every single zodiac sign. In part 1, we went over each one of those and overlaid the current event that happened on August 5th. Okay. So right now, we're on this page, which this chart around you is a chart of the astrological alignments for September of 2023. So we're beginning to lay the blueprint down to find out what is scheduled to occur in September. That's what we're doing. And we're doing so by entering, where's it? Over there. Entering the data that we've accumulated as a result of the events that happened the other day on August 5th. Okay? I started out of order with the second house, which is occupied by Sagittarius. And we learned through previous studies that second house Sagittarius refers to tainted ideologies. Now, I went over to the opposite side, to the 8th house, and we learned through our previous studies that this house talks about the management of shared resources relative to the United States population, the distribution of wealth in the United States. Okay, what else did we learn? Taurus. We learned Taurus as well. So I'm going to open up another text box so we can enter that information in as well. I'm attempting to move as fast as I can. And I feel like I have to review part 1 because if a person is just beginning to watch this video, they won't know what's going on. So Taurus is, occupies the second house in astrology, and it is about the quality of life concerns, issues, matters, etc., etc. Like you got to get some money, the bag, to buy food and provide shelter and stuff for yourself, to have a quality of life you've grown accustomed to. But what we learned from our previous studies is that Taurus of life is referring to like entitlement. This is going to cause me to open boxes if I just enter that. But it did. The previous studies showed that it referred to entitlement, but it was more than just entitlement. We're just going to put resources. And if we need to refine it later, we can do so. I'm trying to save space, y'all. Hopefully you understand what I'm doing. So I'm going to shrink this box. Shrunk it a little too much. Oh goodness. God dang it, gracious. Move that. I'm nowhere near that magnifying glass. Hold on, y'all. Didn't allow me to. Why does it keep picking up on the magnifying glass? Oh, Jesus. It's still picking up on the magnifying glass, y'all. Hold on. Okay. Taurus represents the bag, the money, the resources that you need to buy the quality of life you so desired. we learned in part one that there are people that have a sense of entitlement to have the majority of the resources to live an abundant life. What others on the opposite end of the spectrum, because part one showed it was a polarity experience we're having, duality, a dual experience we're having. That's to say, black, white. It has to do with races, not a racist race, as far as being a Caucasian, being what's they call it, African American, or whatever it's referred to, the political correct term, or Asiatic, or whatever it is. Okay, so I'm summing it up because I don't have a lot of space, and just putting resources in here. I'm going to kind of put that in. I'm going to see if it lets me click on again. I want to lock it in place, y'all, because if I don't lock it in place, stuff go to moving around. I have to go here because I didn't lock that in place. Now I have to remember to lock them all into place. I really want to kind of shrink that in case I need to go back. Hopefully. Okay, thing. Oh, don't you start that moving around. Well, I'm going to be sipping a little bit while I move through this, because I'm long-winded in slow motion. And what I'm waiting for right now is for my computer to allow me to lock my keyword into place. Okay. So I've locked, come on, my magnifying glass. I've locked these clues into place. So, in short, going back over Taurus so we understand, Taurus represents how we acquire our quality of life, what we desire, what's our requirements to consider that we had a reasonable quality of life. Like, what does it mean to live below the poverty level? That's what Taurus really represents as you get into more detail. But we're summing it up because I don't have a lot of space with just the term resources. Some are entitled, some are restricted from obtaining their best quality of life. Okay, what else did we learn? We learned that, let's talk about Aries. Now, mind you, I need you to keep in mind, even though I'm plugging these keywords in, or these answers we got from our current experience, our current timeline, these keywords, I'm going to call them, have to be refined for September. But I'm just putting in the keywords now. What did we learn about Aries? If you recall, Aries was about a specific grouping of people. This is a specific grouping of people relative to the event that happened the other day, were the white family that attacked the black boat attendant. But we also learned that, how can I say, we also, see, this is the complication I'm going to have. Follow the magnifying glass. This is Aries. The first house of Aries is a fire sign. Then here's another fire sign over here following the magnifying glass, Leo. We also have Sagittarius over here, which is the final fire sign. So let me explain why I'm pointing that out, this trilogy. It's because Sagittarius represents an ideology that people, an ideology that governs people's thought pattern and behavior. Well, this ideology belongs to Aries. This ideology in our real time belonged to that family, that white family, that attacked the boat attendant. For now on, I'm not going to keep saying white family. White family. I'm going to just say that family, that particular family, that very specific family. So, right here, maybe that's the best term I can use. It's just put family. to make it go quicker. Family. But remember, that family has this ideology as defined by Sagittarius. So I'm going to just put family. Because I am just trying to review. Okay, got that there. Let it go. I think that'll, oh, I didn't change to what you call them. Stereo. Okay. Shrink it up. Shrinking it up. Moving my magnifying glass. Ooh, family. That particular family. Aries is an archetype for with that family and their ideologies. Okay, trying to just recap. That's the word. Recap. Review part 1. So anyway, following the magnifying glass, we got these tainted ideologies, the trilogy that this family believes in, that governs their thought pattern and their behavior. They refuse to move the boat because the boat attendant, a black man, so I'm gonna just say boat attendant for now, informed them that they couldn't dock at the commercial dock. And after that, what a big old brawl ensued. After they jumped on them. That's real important. Because they had the sense of entitlement associated with Taurus in the second house. Okay. Now, remember I was talking about the trilogy, the 3 fire signs, Sagittarius, Aries, and so we might as well go over here in Leo and plug in what Leo represented. Leo, the zodiac sign of Leo, we learned, also represents this family. But it represents this family as a representative of the... Oh, yeah, I got to come back over here. Anyway, a representative of this spiritual being. I got to come back over here, y'all, and add another text box. Because this is significant to make sure that everyone knows we're dealing with the ancient entity. This is an ancient spiritual. I spell entity. Yo. Phone. Okay, shrink it down. Shrink the box. Make it fit. Gotta keep it in its own box because everybody's got his own information. That's probably so small y'all can't see it. Okay. The box so small it don't want to respond to me hovering over it now. Come on, thing. Okay. Okay, it won't let me maneuver it because it's too small. I'm messing around with this text box, y'all. What the hell? I done hit the wrong button or something. Give me a minute. And oh, that was the right one. Why did it do that? Okay. I'm about to try something because something doesn't seem like it's translating right. Why is it doing that? Interesting. But okay. I'm going to do what it wants me to do, what it'll allow me to do. What is this thing doing? Oh, hell no. I'm not going to complicate stuff and get upset, y'all. Give me a minute to do... Let me see if I can shrink it from this way without too much problem. Okay, I'm going to leave it like that. Oh, shut up, man. Okay. Will it allow me to lock it? Because after I do this, when we're done, I'm going to screenshot and print this out so I ain't got to start all over again. Lock. Okay. Reviewing. Okay. So understand what I was doing. It was another term that I need to. Come on, magnify. Now it won't let me move the magnifying glass. And I changed my battery in my click in this mouse. That this ideology is truly an ancient spiritual entity, and it is like bigger than life, almost itself. And so this family embodies this entity or is a minion to this entity. And they're also, this family is not just a minion to this entity or this ideology. They're also a representative for a larger, I use the term corporation, but the term, trying to find the term right now, is a larger institution. How can I say that? Again, it is, I know what term I can use. Let me add this term here. But I don't know how to refine it, so when people are just looking and not listening, I'm setting up another text box. Okay. Next. Okay. It is for what is it? How can I say? Maybe group. No, I'm gonna have to say it like this. I guess I spelled that right. We'll see. Y'all just let me know. Gotta shrink the box to make it fit. Moving the magnifying glass. Oh, God dang it. Okay. The best term I could come up with to embody what Leo represents relative to our current timeline is white supremacy. And so I want to kind of define that. Remember, I am merely plugging in the data that we have from our current timeline into September. I still have to go back and do my intense research for September. But right now, I'm just trying to review part 1, which is Aries through Aquarius, and finally finalize Pisces and move into some other subject matters relative to what the Alabama River Boat Brawl, our current astrological energies that are running and soon to unfold. So that's what I'm doing. And to give you some conspiracy about this whole thing. So, back to Leo. I'm focusing on the trilogy of, come on, magnifying glass, tainted ideologies. This family is governed by them. But not only is this family governed by these tainted ideologies, they're one of many. They're one of many. And that's why I have this terminology, white supremacy. It's just people who are usually Caucasian, I think mostly, primarily, predominantly Caucasian, that have the same ideology. So they are just, this family is a representative for this whole organization of people. Now we know this organization of people is made up of all different people, all different type of families, single people, people in different work sectors of our society. So is those people are also what? Governed by this tainted ideology. That's why it's a trilogy. You see how it goes together? Okay, what else did we learn? We learned about Cancer. We learned about Cancer. What did we learn about Cancer? Oh, I'm opening up another text box. Opening up another text box to enter a keyword for what we learned about. Come on, thing. Oh, I'm hitting the wrong button. That one was on me. Okay. And I apologize for the background sounds. My air conditioner is on the side of me. Somebody outside cutting grass and weeding or whatever you call it. Anyway, we learned about Cancer. That Cancer, in my shorts, I just remember saying, hey, Cancer, I think you'd have bit off more than you can handle. You'd have bit off more than you can handle. You may need to call back up. And then also pretending or being saved by the bell. Being saved by the bell. What I'm trying to do is remember what it was about. Being saved by the bell. What was being saved by the bell? See, I need to close this up to move my magnifying glass, but I can't because I have to start over. So I got to figure this out. I just remember being saved by the bell because Cancer turns and listens to the people. Turn and listen to them. It was about... I'm not going to move and start over because I have to... What I'm trying to think of one term. I'm trying to get enough recall on the zodiac sign of Cancer in order to come up with one keyword or term that embodies the whole message of Cancer. Because there was a couple of things going on with Cancer. I knew, one, that Cancer bit off more than they can handle. That they may have to call for backup. And that their mission was saved by the bell because they began to listen to people. How was that? I might have to say that, but no, I'm going to put a term here. I'm going to put a term here. Saved by the bell. Say Cancer, you bit off more than you can handle. Put it in the backup. And what word? Let's see. Law. Maybe like saved by the law. I'm going to just put saved. Saved. And I'll try to explain why I chose that term. Okay. Shrinking the box up again. Let's see. And what I'm supposed to be pushing this here to shrink this here. Shrunk it too much. Shrunk it here. I chose this term saved because Cancer was saved by the bell. What was it about? Cancer is actually saved, like, for instance, even though this family over here wouldn't follow the instructions to move their boat, and they decided the best way to enforce their entitlement was to brutally beat the boat dock manager, and therefore, publicly, the whole United States, even probably the whole world, saw them executing their sense of entitlement. I do want to put entitlement over there so bad, y'all. But I'm gonna try to take it easy. Oh, well, I only got one viewer. I'm going to take the time to put entitlement. Text. As I do this, did I spell that right? I don't know. I can't tell. I think it's that. Okay. I realized that certain things had a moment to trend. I also recognize, like, this particular trending event is very emotionally charged. But out of all the reports you will hear or reactions to this event, I think mine is one of the most important. And the reason why is because it is not, can I move this magnifying glass? My reaction is really not my reaction. This is just me decoding the stars, you know? And so, to me, my message comes from a deeper place. It's not being biased or anything. It's just a recall of what occurred, and then we plugging it in to the astrological chart to see what's going on, to see what's about to take place. So it's really intellectual. It's kind of scientific to me, you know, because there's so many layers. Y'all just getting one layer, and I think that it's overwhelming and very time consuming for a lot of you. So imagine what it is for me and other astrologers. Okay, and then we can't forget about the people that actually bring these degrees to us, the astronomers. I mean, do you know the intense work and involvement, man? Oh man. So, and yes, I'm still sick, y'all. So if I have a coughing fit, please forgive me. I don't know what has taken hold of me. I don't know if it's that 19 thing. I don't know if it's that Crom thing or whatever. But it's one of them. I was down for a minute, and it's still in my lungs. Y'all know that was the primary space of its attack. So, and I'm still smoking my cigarettes now. Well, I'm back to smoking them now, but I feel a little better. Anyway, back to Cancer. Magnifying glass, y'all. Oh, come on, babe. Magnifying glass. Saved. Why do I use the term saved here at Cancer? Because this family was saved. This whole grouping of people that share in this tainted ideology was saved by the Baal. Mind you, there was a public display, a blatant display of supremacy and of entitlement and things like that. And so this family, the whole grouping, the ideology has been saved by the Baal of what? Or given grace by something. And that something, by something could be, well, see, I gotta go back over here. I'm really reviewing. I talked about Sagittarius and how it is bigger than life, almost as big as life. It's an ancient entity. It has laid its foundation in this world, but it primarily would focus. It has laid its roots in the United States, in the country of the United States. That's to say, it is everywhere, and so it is saved by the Baal of, you know, documents will be changed or recalls of the event will be changed. We're gonna get to that later during my conspiracy side. So I don't want to get too caught up in it. I just kind of want to fill in these dots. Let's see, what else did we learn? We learned that, let's see, what haven't I filled out? Virgo, 11th house Virgo. What was Aquarius about? Say I recall. Oh, I know. I'll jump into Scorpio. Following the magnifying glass, Scorpio. Why? Because I remember it. So, Scorpio, I'm about to open up a new text box. Oh, before I do that, I have to stop. Before I open up a new text box, I have to screenshot this page because I don't want to lose it. I don't want to lose it. So what you're about to see, this moment of, where is my click and click stillness is, where the heck, I just changed the battery. Do not start on me. I would like to find my click on this stuff. Did I make a mistake and turn it off? Maybe I made a mistake and turned it off. Okay, there, it popped back up. So this quiet moment is me screenshotting that was me screenshotting the page. So if anything, you know, crashes, I don't have to start over. Okay. So I was doing Scorpio. So I'm about to open up a new text box. to write in Scorpio. A key word that that is a clue to what Scorpio represents during this current time line that we're in, and I'm plugging it into September's chart to see what will soon take place. So Scorpio was about people's superhuman powers coming online. That one's simple. Superhuman powers. Okay. I'm gonna shrink that down. Move that over here. Oh, it still ain't small enough. I'm trying to keep it big enough so hopefully y'all can see it. Can I move it? Is it too small for me to move? Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. Please let me be able to lock it in. I'm locking it in. Okay. Superhuman powers. Superhuman powers. In part 1, I talked about the astrological message, remember, that I gave in July for August. Say, hey, y'all superhuman powers coming online. Scorpio is going to allow you to execute your lofty goals or to complete your mission or job or whatever. Superhuman powers are coming online. Superhuman powers are coming online. Okay. And to pay attention to how astrology plays out. Superhuman powers coming online, right? If I can get my magnifying glass to obey me. We talking about an ancient spiritual entity. Powers. Right next to each other. Powers. Okay. Let's see. Another thing. Where was the... See. Okay. I didn't do Pisces. Aquarius was about... I'm trying to remember. Capricorn. Okay. I remember Capricorns too. So here we over here at Capricorn. Third house Capricorn. Just plugging in the information that we know. I'm going to add a new text box. Capricorn message that I gave for August 2023 back in July was about Capricorn having to seek after the bag or quality of life or resources through working. Have to work. And how Capricorn is such a proficient and competent worker, going above and beyond the call of duty just to get that bag. And how, because Capricorn is such an effective worker, oftentimes additional responsibilities or additional weights are added to Capricorn's back. Like employees partnering Capricorn with other co-workers that may be incompetent. Anyway, I just remember saying, Capricorn, you got to drag these incompetent people or this extra weight on your back through the month of August. How did that manifest during that event? Or who is a Capricorn an archetype of? Well, we're going to put the boat dock manager. See, I need to put another one, but I'm gonna leave it like that. The boat dock manager. Boat dock manager. Have to go to work to get the money to pay for the quality of life. The best he can do. And I want to add another one. Another text box, because it wasn't just the boat cap manager, it was also the crew, the extended crew. People just having to go to work, usually making minimum wage or very low wages, but they turn up and do their job. Maybe I can talk about the trilogy of the earth signs, since I'm on Capricorn. The trilogy of earth signs is, where is that magnifying glass? Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn is the earth trilogy. First, we're talking about providing for one's quality of life or one's quality of life and what they have to do to acquire it. Where here, the boat dock manager and the crew manager have to go to work and they have to deal with the added weight upon them. Now, I got to remember what Aquarius was about. Aquarius was about, because Aquarius said, I'm trying to reflect upon or recall what Aquarius was about. Aquarius, what was the I'm back here because for some reason my mind is not allowing me to recall Aquarius. What was Aquarius about? What was Aquarius about? I remember most of it, but I cannot remember this. So right now we're on my actual YouTube page, and I am about to watch Aquarius short. We're about to watch Aquarius short so I can trigger my memory. Let's see if this will trigger it.
Aquarius, come August 2023, I see that you're giving it your best shot. Know that you are not alone in the struggle. Everybody's screwed. How about that?
Okay, I have to go to my home page, default page, to reset my the page we were just on. I still need to go watch a little bit of my extended forecast for Aquarius because I think I recall now, but I'm not sure, and I need to make sure that I'm sure. I need to know that I'm sure what to write in as the clue. So and I'm having me a little afternoon drink and smoke. So, now we literally did this yesterday. Welcome to Can Angels Fly. Oh, nah, they really. For real, y'all. Now they got real loud. Okay. Let's see. Social role or office position, whatever the case is, and to be a recipient of their wages or rewards or whatever the case may be. As a result, you may find that your hands are tied behind your back, and therefore limiting your ability to pursue your own interests and to thrive towards manifesting the future you envision for yourself. Ultimately, the denial of your liberties as a human. Okay, I said that right. Just being having to address bigger institutions, missions, and goals. They're consuming all of your energy. You can't focus on yourself. And that is a violating your rights as a human, individual human, to be in pursuit of your own life. Anywho, it leads you to seek alternative means to try to pacify your physical worldly wants, needs, urges, and desires. What else? And it says to have to make. In order, when this question comes up about how can you live your best life, you're going to have to make a moral choice that is to live a minimal life or to access your lower nature. Okay, reset. Moral choice. That's what I thought. That baby came in here to give his granny some money. That's what I'm talking about. That's a real good grandbaby. Okay, I had to make sure that I was going to write down the right thing here in the 11th house. And so I'm opening up a new text box to add that. Those key words about moral choice. And then I'll review what I said in part 1. And then we'll go ahead and do Pisces, because we just about covered everything. Oh, I'm in the wrong box. God dang it. I done chose the wrong box, y'all. Hold on. I'm supposed to be over here. Oh, I could have put the box anywhere. God dang it. Okay. Let me say moral choice. I think I did. Oh, I mean the professional lawn care people outside. I haven't seen them all year god dang on long. But okay. The professional folk out there making all that noise with all their big machinery. So I apologize. So now we have the air blowing and the professional lawn care service people out there, and I cannot control my surroundings. I try to wait for a quiet moment. Never got one. Okay, moral choice. Alright, let me lock it in. And then we're going to go to the one zodiac sign I didn't do. Because I think you kind of get the gist of the story and how astrology foresaw what was going to happen. And then we're going to go and do the last zodiac sign, Pisces, where the magnifying glass is hovering over, because I didn't cover that in part 1. Then I'm going to move along with everything else. Okay, so here we are. Moral choice with Aquarius, the one I just put the keyword in. In part 1 and in my shorts for August 2023 and my extended forecast, I was saying that Aquarius is, you are one of many people that are bound or forced to, participate in one of our world constructs or industry. Basically, go to work and you got to follow all the rules and stuff. So relative to the event that happened, an example is how all of these employees, right next to it, the boat dock manager and the crew had to go to work. They are required to wear uniforms. They're required to be cordial to the people that come. They're required to do their whatever their role is, whatever duties they have to do. That's what they're required to do, and nothing outside of it, really. You got to go watch it. I'll go into more detail. But remember, also Capricorn represents going above and beyond the call of your duties, being proficient and an expert in your area, and then there being additional weight put on your back after all that. You're able to tackle all that, and then here comes something else. Whether the boss acts it by pairing you with an incompetent co-worker, telling you got to train him or do whatever. In this case, it was the boat dock manager attempting to do his job when he was brutally attacked by the family. Okay, and so at that time, again, bound to the rules, the policies, and the regulations of working for the boat industry, bound by the rules of what? Social constructs. And the social construct I'm talking about is a polarity of white, which is black. So I'm talking about bound by the black experience. What is supposed to be the black experience? What has been forced to be the black experience as a direct result of a white supremacist system. I don't know if I said that right. Okay, and so it says that foretold us the astrological charts for leading up to August, or in August, told us that these workers were going to be confronted with making a moral choice. And the moral choice was, where do you draw the line at? When, what is enough is enough. Well, what was enough on that day was that the family brutally attacked that boat dock manager. And so they had to make a choice. They knew when they acted that they were going to lose their jobs. I summed it up as saying they was going to take the L's, the losses. Losses of jobs, losses of wage, loss of their security, loss of their resources, loss of their acquired quality of life that they've been able to successfully maneuver and acquire out of a white supremacist system, governed system. They had to make a decision, a moral decision. Okay, I'm gonna stop there. There are only a few other slots that I have not reviewed. Again, I think you got the gist of it. So now I'm going to go ahead and finish up with Pisces, the zodiac sign I didn't cover in that first part. Then I'm gonna move on to the other subject matters that I want to cover in this video relative to astrology and the event that happened, and what has happened since an update as far as who's been charged with what and what has been said, and as well as my own conspiracy theories. And so that shouldn't take much longer after we do Pisces. So I'm moving back to my YouTube homepage. Oh, it's getting hot in here. I'm going to turn the air down and shut the window. Ooh, and I'm sipping. I'm not. Is it coming? Sipping, making me hot. Ponytail with it, bang, closed window, low air. Ooh, Jesus. Okay, we're going to do the short for Pisces. Please listen and listen closely.
Pisces, come August 2023, what you believe seems to be true. You have held off the inevitable for as long as you could. Now, you got to put up a shove. How about that? Pisces, come August 2023, what you believe seems to be true. You have held off the inevitable for as long as you could. Now, you got to put up a shove. How about that?
Okay, got to go back to my home page, my default page, to reset the page we were just on. So we'll come back and we can watch the full extended version of Pisces forecast for this month of August 2023. I do believe this is the longest forecast I made, and the reason why is because it got so intense. And I was saying that, hey, it got really intense. I'm trying to explain everything that I can't quite see clearly. I'm seeing it kind of blurred with what's to occur, and I'm like, I don't want to make nobody get scared or nervous, but it actually was what it was, and it is what it is. So now I'm going to find the extended version. We're going to watch that together. There's Pisces not giving me no trouble. Hello, welcome to Can Angels Fly? My name is Nancy, and I'm here to share Pisces August 2023 Astrological report. Now, I haven't done any reports in a while, so I'm a little rusty. I ask you to be patient with me and ride the wave with me if you would. Now, Pisces, I haven't fully interpreted your report, so I'm kind of going to be improvising as I go along. I'm going to read the few notes I have to set the cadence and then improv the rest of the way. The reason I'm doing so is because by the time I got to your zodiac sign and the astrological message, it's so deep, it's so intense, and quite negative, till I got to go a little further than I did with the other reports. Now, I didn't say this in the other reports I did for the other zodiac signs, but I'm going to have an overall report for the month of August 2023.
Which I ain't gonna go into with y'all. I ain't gonna do it.
Picture or the collective story gathered through all the zodiac signs. And so I personally invite you, Pisces, to watch out and to attend or view that live. It's going to be a live stream or video, depending on when you watch it, so that you can get a clear understanding about what's going on. I do ask you to be calm and collective and to think your way through these energies that's coming up. So I'm going to start by reading my notes, and then I'm going to improv through.
And you see, I only got 38 views down here, right, y'all?
Come August 2023, the stars suggest that
YouTube.
The days are upon you in which you succumb to the pressures of the world.
Succumbing to the pressures of the world.
Saw that terminology in the stars. All I could help but think about the kneeling. It's a kneeling man, a statue. A kneeling man with the world on his shoulders, and he's bent down. That's how I see Pisces in August. Anywho, I apologize, Pisces, for the interruption.
See, ain't never a moment of peace over
I don't
here.
even know where I was at. But anyway, I was saying that in August, you succumb to the pressures of the world, to carrying, the responsibilities, having to perform all the duties that you do, and taking on all the responsibilities to make sure you got a roof over your head, not only you, but those under your care. Bills, we have our vices that we try to keep up with, and making sure we pacifying ourselves. Everything is never ends. We all know this. And unfortunately, your zodiac sign is the poster person for this energy. We all are experiencing this energy. That's what you need to understand. But your zodiac sign is the poster energy or poster person for this energy. And so I continue and share what I am encoding in the stars. The stars also talks about how many Pisces souls have been cast into the sunken place. I use that terminology, the sunken place, because I want to refer you to a movie, and the movie is by Jordan Peele, and it's called Get Out. And I can't wait to do the extended version for this month. I'm going to be long. So, the sunken place, I'm going to read notes. In detail, many of you have been negatively impacted by the constant struggles in life. You have psychologically been manipulated into a dark place in which you feel alone, fearful, and desperate. It is likely your dark side will emerge to aid you in pacifying your physical, worldly wants, needs, urges, and desires. So I'm going to try to sum that up before I kind of look over here and improv, kind of pulling out more information out the chart. Pisces, day-to-day life is a continual struggle for us all to make sure you have food, shelter, clothing, pay the bills, the mortgage, the vices, everything. It never stops. You really don't have time. No one has time to go do their own thing, pursue their own interests. That's not the world we're in, not this reality. But instead, in order to address these demands, we got to go work for some institution somewhere. We're bound by the rules, bound by the laws. They take up all our time, they drain our life force energy. Oh yes, it's so negative. And it gets to this place, all of that, over extended amount of time, has constantly been having a negative impact upon your psyche. Not just yours. Humanity's psyche. Remember, you're just a poster person, your energy, for an aspect of what we're all dealing with. So, most of you will have this experience up close and personal, or are having this experience up close and personal. But remember, even though you feel like you're the only one and that you are alone, you are not. You are not. Anyway, back to the psychology of a person of Pisces. It has been negatively impacted. You have been manipulated and manipulated to see the cup half full, to be negative, to be in that sunken place, to have a dark psychology, and it could even lead you to have a melancholy emotional state. You at this time in the month of August, you may slowly detach yourself from others because you just don't want to be around people when you feel like this, this kind of way. That dark place, all that dark place is eerie. It is, you feel alone, you feel spiritually detached from others, and in that space fearful, like, how did I get here? How can I get out? And desperate. If you could just live your best life, you would be okay. And so that spirit that has been created, talking about in the sunken place, your soul in a sunken place becomes a particular type of entity within you. I call them cohabitating spirits. That's if you follow me. You heard me talk about cohabitating spirits. Well, come August, you have a cohabitating spirit, and that spirit dwells in the sunken place in your psyche, and it is afraid, and it is desperate to live its best life. So it's going to attempt to take control of your physical vessel and puppeteer it to do what it needs done to help you and it live your best life. Now, that suggests then, what will a person do? It asks the question, what will a person do? What will Pisces do in this desperate space? I know this is very negative, but this is what the stars say, and I just want to report what I see in the stars. Again, I'm going to have this overall live to talk about all 12 signs, especially yours, Pisces, in depth, because the bottom line to all of this is that you've been manipulated. We've been manipulated, cast, pushed into this dark, sunken place. It almost makes me think about a Bible, some Bible scriptures that talks about being cast into the abyss. Being cast into the abyss. But again, I'll say that later. Anyway, Pisces, you, like so many others, have various talents, gifts, skills, and access to industries, departments, or industry tools or things like that. Something you might not be able to buy yourself, but the industry got it because it's more powerful, got more money. And what I'm bringing those things up for, because in August you will be tempted, you consider accessing those things, anything that can help you get a few extra dollars, get to the bag. You know what I'm saying? It's like we've all, especially you Pisces, been manipulated into like breaking the law. That's what it seems like. I'm really kind of going over into the overall live I got to do. But it's like we've been manipulated into being our worst selves, to breaking the law, to going against the tried and true, to going against the rules, policies, regulations, whatever it takes, because the bills have to be paid. We have to eat. We have to clothe ourselves. And we got to pacify our vices. Those demons within us are vices. Whether it's cigarettes, marijuana, some other drug, alcohol, partying, shopping, whatever the vice is.
Quality of life.
Yep. I'm trying to close this up.
Please do.
Yeah. You look at it. That's what I say. Searching for a way to pacify your physical world wants these urges and desires. And you will use whatever means you can access to do so. I'm going to close this down, Pisces, because it's going on longer than any other video. But I want to point this out. This seems to be a battle during the month of August for all of us about the good and the bad, being high vibrational or lower vibrational. We have been manipulated into tapping into our low vibrational nature, into our evil side, our dark side. But it's up to us what we choose to do, you know, and that's what Pisces represents, what we ultimately choose to do. Obviously, the powers that be want us all in our lower nature, but it's up to us, Pisces. It is up to us. I think I started this video saying that you can choose to tap into that lower animalistic, demonic nature and do what you got to do to get what you want, or you can downsize and live a more simplistic life. You can release some of those debts that you have, loans that you have. Just let them go. File bankruptcy. Say forget it. You know, and keep the bare minimum. It is up to us what we do. It is up to you, Pisces, what you ultimately do in August. But understand, you got to pull yourself. So I got to come here and talk about pulling yourself out of that sunken place, that psychologically dark place where that spirit has been developed. That demon within us has been developed. That's you, and you control you, and you can remember this. You can get out the sunken place at any point you want. You can get out the sunken place. Do not be afraid. I know it's easily said than done, but I think it makes it not as scary when a person like myself can tell you, I know about the sunken place, been there to the sunken place, has come out of the sunken place, and it's not as scary as it is to possibly to an inexperienced person like yourself. You probably haven't occupied the sunken place. You haven't been there before. So it's dark and scary. And it's overwhelming to you for the first time. But I'm here to tell you, you are the master of your world. You rule the sunken place. And you can make it what you want. How can I say this? That sunken place. I'm talking about it because it is, again, a person that has never been there before, a soul, is scary. It is scary. It's unnerving. It's hard to comprehend and to receive downloads there, but it's possible. You got to be aware. That's what I'm talking about. You got to be aware that it's a real place, that, and you can control it. You can come out of it. You can go in and out of it at will. And you need to know this. And you need to also know, because this is a part of the sunken place experience, or the dark psyche, is that you feel like you are alone in the game. You are alone in the game. Oh, I gotta talk about other stuff like hell. Y'all gotta find my videos on hell. You are not alone. That's another trick of that realm, or of that consciousness, that you feel like you are alone in the game. And remember, Pisces, you are not alone. I have to go back to my default page to reset, to come back, to stop that video from playing. That's the best way I know how to do it, y'all. My page is going to come back up, but I'm about to talk about Pisces. I guess I don't have to be on this page, but I'm going to let it load up because I don't want to cause any additional glitches. So when it loads up. But we're about to cover Pisces. We just watched my short and my extended forecast for Pisces for this month of August 2023. I did that back in July.
Now let's talk about what really happened, how that manifested into our reality in that event on August 5th of 2023, which is the Alabama River Boat Brawl. Going to the next page so we can just insert the information. So I'm going to open up a text box in a minute to add to where you see the magnifying glass. Remember, I took all kind of notes on Pisces, because by the time I got to Pisces in July, I was upset. I was really upset. But Pisces, briefly, a brief summary, is talking about after having the human experience, the psyche has been influenced. I described it in my video using my generic terminology I come up with as being pushed or shoved into the sunken place. The human experience. A part of our human experience, or part of how our human experience is constructed, is that it has currently been divided into at least two extremes: black and white. We talk about over here white supremacy, and the other side of that duality is the black experience. Black people, or African Americans, I think that's a politically correct term, have been chosen, forced to be the lower class, the one that every other culture gets to build their wealth up on their back, uses as workers and things. This whole slave system still. And there has been a result or a residual effect of that black experience. Examples of the black experience as a direct result of a white supremacist system, trying, black folks trying to navigate this, what do you call it, systematic racism. Imagine going through a school system that really doesn't want to teach you. Imagine being taught even religion. All these subjects are discussed here on YouTube. I don't know if you're exposed to them, but I am. And I've also had these experiences in my real-time life. But being exposed to a religion that merely exists to throw you off track to what's really going on. What am I talking about? I'm talking about systematic racism. I'm talking about there being a disproportionate distribution of wealth based on race. I am talking about the removal of affirmative action, as if it doesn't have its place. I'm talking about redlining, like when it comes to housing. I am talking about medical care for African Americans versus other people, but with a primary focus on the polarity of white people. That. All of those experiences. I want you to think about Dr. Martin Luther King and the marches that he led, and when he gave the speeches, and how people were attacked by dogs and put water holes on them, and Rosa Parks being told to move to the back of the bus. All these historical events that most of us know about. Do you think those people just had those experiences and went about their day or their life as if it didn't affect them? No. It affected them psychologically. It pushed them into the sunken place. Not only them, it becomes a generational curse. Not only generational, it's a race generational curse. That's to say, most African Americans share in the trauma that has been experienced. The truth is, it has never stopped. None of that has ever stopped. But yet, going back, who was the peacekeeper? The peacekeeper was Taurus the peacekeeper? Who was the peacekeeper? I want to say that Libra. Libra was the peacekeeper. Oh, let me talk about that. Okay, I gotta add a new text box, y'all. Give me a minute. My glass got condensation on it. And it's wetting up everything. And I can't have it wetting up my papers. And I have to start again. So. Okay, y'all. I got a new text box. I'm just setting it up. Because Libra was the... I just got my caps on. The P. What the hell? Why it ain't? What is happening? Did I hit that? Let's try that. Okay. Peacekeeper. But it was also had. What can I put? Lit. Gay whore. I don't even know if I spelled it right. But by me being actively online, I can't check the spelling, so just ride the wave with me if you will. Okay, no, that was Libra. I'm in the wrong place. Look, I'm moving all over the place. Okay. Let's see if I can. Let's see. Peacekeeper and litigator. Let's see. I'm gonna do it like that. See it? Mother sucker. I'm trying to. Oh, there you go. Almost. Trying to lock it. Ooh, there you go. Got it. I'm trying to lock it in so it don't move on me. And after I enter this over here, the key term, then I'm going to screenshot it again. So, we just did Pisces. But before I insert Pisces keyword or clue, I want to go back over here. Come on here. And talk about Libra for the month of August. Now, mind you, this actual astrological alignment within this chart is September's chart. However, I'm taking the information that I have from August, from August, and putting it into this chart. And I'm going to, at a later time, by myself, I ain't gonna take y'all through it. I'm gonna go through and interpret September's chart with these clues in it, as well as just read it the way it appears, interpret and code it, decode it the way it appears. But first, I want to take a look at this first. Why? Because it's going to tell me what's going to happen in September. Okay. All right. So I want to go to Libra, where the magnifying glass is, because I didn't cover Libra. I couldn't remember. But when I was listening to Pisces, I remembered Libra. And Libra represented the mediator, litigation, lawsuits, and things like that, and with a primary focus on being a peacekeeper. And a peacekeeper has been traditionally, historically, African American people. I stated in the last live stream that I did, I said this great country, the U.S., is only great because African Americans came to a point where they realized it was an invisible barrier that they couldn't cross, an invisible boundary they couldn't cross, or chose not to cross. On a collective, conscious level, you got to understand this. Because if we did, this country would not be the great country it is known to be, that it strives to be, that we black people want it to be. You know, it will come to an end for who knows how long. None of us living today would ever experience America as it is now if we would have crossed that line. So we humble ourselves. That was another part of the Taurus energy. We humble ourselves. We allow ourselves to live these minimalist, simple lives. You know, budgeting and not having the highest quality of life we desire for ourselves. We let others, entities, define the quality of life, the extent of the quality of life that we live. Oh, how patriotic are we? We don't overstep the boundary. You know, but the time has come. Astrology says, you got to make a moral choice now. Because you've been trying to tried and true. You done went to work, you done did your job, and shit just keep coming up on your back. Adding more weight. In this case, it was the execution of entitlement by a particular family that is embodying the spirit of an ancient entity they don't even know that they're possessed by. And this family is one of many. Meaning this family over here is merely a representative or a proxy for so many other people. You know? And I'm going to tell you about how, let me go here. Superhuman powers coming online. Water sign trilogy. Water signs. Cancer. Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. The water trilogy. I told you that Cancer is saved. And I want to go into detail because I'm going to go back and let me do Pisces because I'm forgetting. And I wrote all these notes because I got so excited over here with Pisces, y'all. You know, I told y'all I'm experiencing euphoria and ecstasy as I read these astrology stars. This is me. Anyway, so what keyword can I put in for Pisces? I'm going to put sunken place. So, did I do the... I'm about to add another text box. And I'm just going to put merely sunken place as the keyword. Why am I choosing to put the term sunken place? You got to understand what you're looking at. Sunken place. Coined by Jordan Peele. Not that he created the sunken place, but that he acknowledged it. Sunken place. Gotta talk about the sunken place, y'all. I done talked about all of those horrific circumstances and situations that minorities, I guess it was they call us minorities, or black people, the black experience, we've had to suffer, you know, because this is a race, R-A-C-E thing. It's black and white and everything in between, and it is about who's superior and who's subordinate and all that. Something place. All these horrific events that the system itself and the ideology of white supremacy. I know, sensitive topic. Don't get mad at me. I don't care if you do. But if you're intelligent, you won't get mad at me. What you'll be doing is looking for who created this system, astrological system. That's what you'll be looking for. That's what you be trying to move to question. You might even try to jump out your physical body and get in the spirit and move on up there on that level to the 5th, 6th, and 7th dimension and on up to see who wrote this down. Who been keeping records. I gotta stop. I know I'm all over the place. I done got so excited and a little buzzed. But anyway. I've been asking this question for some time. A few years. I've been able to successfully identify different, I guess, like characters or entities in reality, not just in reality that exists, rather physical or ethereal. I say God, you know, but if you God, Allah, Buddha, I don't know, Krishna, I don't care who it is, however you like to label it. Say, hey, God, say, who are the two witnesses talked about in the Bible? After all these years, I think I know at least one of the witnesses. I have a speculation about who the second witness is in the Bible, but the first witness is, guess what, y'all? Astrology. Because this mother sucker, whoever encoded this, wrote this, is a witness. They have been recording everything. Every transcript, every, a script, every, everything. You know, I say, hey, astrology seems like if you follow me, you've heard me say astrology seems like some type of correspondence between some ethereal beings or something like that. It's some type of record keeping or something like that. Now listen to this. This is just saying, hey, let me tell you what you're looking at here, based on my perspective and my understanding, is that there is an ethereal being, I do believe, that created this system. And it is to watch over and record everything that goes on this planet between the various races. I'm talking about it's supposed to record everything from that the life within the waters, the life within the air quality, the water quality, all the incidents that happen in the water where the oil spills, and it records everything that happens on this sphere, and it's reporting to somebody. That is what I'm saying. That's one witness number one in the Bible. I actually think the next witness might be, I'm gonna just say it, I don't know this to be the case. The first one, I know it's the witness, because it's too much documentation, it's too much data. And when you think about astrology existing for however long, who made it, I've asked these questions, researched it, not finding a definitive answer. Anywho, the other witness has to be, I'm assuming, from my perspective, has to be an astronomer. Because the astronomer is the one that tracks the stars in the sky and has plotted out his degrees and tracked his courses and recorded that information for an astrologer to even look at it and decode it. So who are the two witnesses in the Bible? It is the astronomer and the astrologer. Damn! Bow! Shut your mouth. Okay, y'all. I get so excited. So, anywho, and that was a download, y'all. Anyway, back to Pisces. This is the last house we're going to cover, and then we're going to move into the other topics here that I'm going to cover here during this live stream. I got a little bit more time. Only been on here an hour and 37 minutes. Y'all know I got 5 or 6 hours in me easy. Anyway, the sunken place. The sunken place. Jordan Peele in the movie Get Out covers the sunken place. Go watch that movie. But until then, let's talk about the sunken place. The sunken place is your psyche. It's your subconscious. And within the psyche or the subconscious are the effects of the experiences that you have while in this physical realm. I gave example of the experiences that African Americans have had here in the United States. From what? Rosa Parks being told to move and go to the back of the bus and her refusing and ending up in jail. From Martin Luther King, people not being able to drink out of white fountains, or go to any water fountain they want, or any bathroom they want, or any restaurant they want, and what else was it? Any theater they want, just couldn't do it. Any store they couldn't do. They had to go through the back door, and having to go through marching and protesting and things like that, and constantly going back to the Congress and things with appealing to them to, hey, give us the equality to be able to walk up and drink out of a water fountain that has water coming out of it, and being met with opposition in the form of water holes, lynching, all kinds of things. And that's been like in the 1950s. We can go back and talk about slavery, because a lot of African Americans are descendants of slaves or early Native Americans. History. Who knew had a place in our lives? Anyway, we know that the colonizers, another term. What terms do you use in astrology? The colonizers, The colonizers came over and was just as brutal and cruel to the indigenous people of this land we now call America. So we've heard about the story about the Native Americans being offered blankets and they being filled with smallpox. We don't believe any of these things out. Anyway, I digress. And I was pointing out all of the how the opposition pushed back in order to ensure that they maintained power. Oh, see, I didn't lock that in. Over resources and had the highest quality of life, had a sense of entitlement to have the highest quality of life you can achieve in this world at any given time. Okay. Let me fix this because sunken place. Let's see. Lock it in. Anyway, all of those experiences didn't just come and go. Nope. They had a negative impact upon the people that experienced it. It has had a negative impact upon the people that heard about it ever since. That's what a descendant is. A person that inherits, the side effects of the experiences of their ancestors. Yeah. And all of those horrific experiences had a negative impact upon the psyche of the people. And within, I'm talking about the dark place, the ethereal realm, that which you can't see, an entity developed. Now, the entity that developed in each individual person that had these horrific experiences, or would have been a descendant of the effects, a descendant of the ancestors that had these experiences, a descendant, did I say it right? Now, those entities that have formed in each of us, or each of them, is not as gigantic or colossal, is the best word, as this ancient spiritual entity that is white supremacy or racism. But nonetheless, there is an internal entity. It is subconscious, and it is dark, like I explained in the Pisces extended forecast. It is dark. It is scary. You feel alone. Could you imagine how slaves felt from other lands to this new land? They felt afraid. They were lost. They were had traveled across great bodies of water. So their sense of direction was off. They don't know which way to travel. They don't speak the language. They don't understand the body language. The sunken place. Fearful. And then you got people hacking you up. Inhumane. Doing inhumane things. The sunken place. So, bringing it up to date, not to be so dramatic. Relative to the event that happened on August 5th of 2023, the Alabama River Brawl. Let's talk about the descendants of Africans. Let's talk about the black people and the black experience, and them being inheritors of this spiritual entity. Everybody from the boat dock worker to the crew to the audience or the standbyers or the other people just at the waterfront trying to have a boat ride and a beautiful day, just trying to move forward with life and live life to their best ability. Under what? A supremacist system. As well as, I want to point out again, the young men that got off of the back of the boat to execute instant karma upon their family. Those men, those young black men, that in my community are referred to as goons or guerrillas. They are fighting for their life every day in this system that hates them, And they were called by the ancestors. This is what I'm pointing out. The sunken place. Water. Pisces is water. Scorpio is water. Cancer is water. Right now I want to focus on Scorpio and Pisces, because I'm talking about the ancestors. I said in part 1 how people had been using, it seemed like their sense of humor was peaking, and they were talking about, they embodied the ancestors and all this kind of stuff. And when I did this astrological message, when I rewatched my shorts, when I rewatched my extended versions, we just watched Pisces. I was like, hot damn, them people were in tune, even though they probably don't do astrology, with perceiving spiritual superhuman powers coming online, that those people that acted to enact instant karma on that family, that had that tainted ideology and executed their sense of entitlement, all these things people were saying. I thought it was just people talking. making up content. It's here in the stars. And in the sunken place, that's where the superhuman powers are. That's where the ancestors lie. That's where all the trauma is. That's where each person's spiritual entity is developed. Those gorillas, those goons, as known in my community, those young men that get off the back of the boat to execute that instant karma, they were coming from the sunken place. They were coming in response to the call of the ancestors. The ancestors gave them that power, the will, the ability, the courage to do what they did. How can I make this make sense? Because I talked about it in part 1. People like them. I'm still talking about the young black men that got off the back of the boat to execute instant karma. Usually in my community, black community, there are certain people that have a black experience that goes a little something like this. Talked about it in part 1. Is that if they fall trying to live in such a system, the system, some fall through the cracks and get the worst experiences possible. A lot of such people end up having a lot of legal troubles and problems. They can't afford an attorney to get good representation. They get railroaded. So I am just assuming that some of those black men that get off the back of the boat to execute instant karma are representatives or proxies or I can't think of the term on this, for such energy. And I was talking about how the ancestors came and counseled each one of the people that went into action in order to protect that boat dock manager, including himself. They had a meeting with the ancestors, with some higher spiritual entity even, that consulted them, told them, gave them their mission, gave them their call to duty, and let them know what they had to do. And so what am I saying that for? Is because those young men, as I mentioned in part 1, knew that they were going to have legal issues. They knew that they were going to end up in jail. And if, oh my God, they have outstanding warrants, issues, they hot on the street or something, they might go to prison just from answering the call of the ancestors. And why am I talking about that? Why I'm talking about it? Because I'm trying to get you to understand the sunken place. I'm trying to get you to understand the sunken place. Yes, it is a scary place. It's a dark place. It's a place of feeling lonely. But it is also the abyss, or no, I won't say abyss. Even though it can be an abyss, it's the realm in which the ancestors commune with people, with their people. You get what I'm saying? And that sunken place is the place where they got their courage to do what they do. That is where that young 16-year-old black male boat crew member who had the ability to dive into the water and swim from the boat over to shore. He was called to do so. He was empowered to do so. That boat dock manager was called to stand in the very place that he stood when the incident started. They were all called. And they all took the L's. They all lost their job. But again, I don't know if I did the sunken place effective or not, because I have gotten very passionate. And so I'm going to stop, because I am going here back to my home page to go ahead and talk about other things. Now, since that event happened on March 5th of this year, which is 2023, what am I referring to? The Alabama River Boat Brawl. Charges have been brought up against the various parties that were active part of that brawl. I have watched different reports that announce the charges that were issued out to the various active participants in that brawl. I noticed, this is Sagittarius back on that chart. I just don't want to go back and forth. This is going more in detail. Part 1, I talked about how Sagittarius also represents that tainted ideology or that spiritual entity that's almost bigger than life. It has established its roots throughout society. And how powerful it is. And how it really cannot be taken down easily. And how even if in real time records have to be changed or perspectives have to be manipulated in order to cover or honor that entity of the tainted ideology, then that's what it would be. And so since I've been watching different, reports about what has occurred since the event, I have witnessed how the perspective of the spectators, the people, the audience, us who weren't there, is being changed. I talked about how we're being made to not look at the family and their vicious attack on that boat dock manager. Another thing I saw after even making that video was that, what was it about? I saw an official, what do you call it? Official, where is that term, man? I wrote it down because I couldn't think of it. Hold on, y'all. I couldn't think of it. It was not a term. It is called I wrote it down because it took me forever. I know I wrote it down. My handwriting is so bad, y'all. What is it called? Oh, maybe this is it. Press conference. Couldn't remember press conference. I watched the official press conference with the Alabama local law enforcement, and they were talking about how they had issued so many warrants and had these charges of third-degree assault. And so, of course, I looked up what third-degree assault is, and it is categorized as a misdemeanor. I was like, oh, wow. And I'm talking about, these are the charges I know brought against the white family. I think it was third-degree assault, which is a misdemeanor. Anywho, the next thing that the chief announced during this official press conference was that the Alabama authorities had partnered with the local FBI, and they did so to look at the charges that they decided to charge them with, to see if there was any evidence that occurred during that whole event that would elevate the charges from a misdemeanor to a felony, as far as being a racially motivated and therefore inciting a riot. Okay, this is really important. This is for my real smart, intellectual people, at least common. I ain't gonna say intellectual. This is common sense, y'all. Oh my God, it's disgusting. But I'm judgmental. I did a video about it too. I don't give a I made it. So, anyway, this police chief or whomever he was during this official press conference says what was determined was that there was not enough evidence to elevate the charge from third-degree assault to it being a racially motivated crime, and also inciting a riot. They couldn't do it. So, with that said, to me, just like Sagittarius, that ancient malevolent entity, of a tainted ideology, creator of a tainted ideology, a white supremacy and systematic racism. What it says is that every person involved in that brawl will be independently charged relative to their crime. That is to say, the young man that jumped off that boat and swam across shore will be charged. That is to say, the boat dock manager that after he was jumped and got up in a rage in pursuit of them and went down to their boat will be charged. It also says that those other crew members that got off to defend and execute instant karma upon that family, they individually will be charged. Remember that lady that tossed that white woman into the water? She will be charged. Let's go down to the other end of the dock where the goons and the gorillas went to execute instant karma. Each one of those young men will be charged. Remember, just my speculation based on that, what they call it, type or the cliche around them, they already got outstanding warrants and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Or legal troubles. Okay. And they can't afford to obtain a return a good attorney, but they usually get court appointed attorneys that work for the system, the systematically biased and racist system. Okay, let's go. Who else is going to be charged? Let's go back to the other end of the dock where the two women came in and was handling the white woman with the red shirt. They each will be charged. Let's talk about the two older gentlemen that was fighting that one guy, the one with the like black and white shirt that was literally like choking the man, hamstrung, kind of basically holding him off. He will be charged based on his crime, the level of his crime, the level of each person's crime. And I say that because now we get to the chairman. We know who the chairman is. That's the man that was wielding the chair that was bump, you know, holding it down. He will be charged. You know what he's going to be charged with? Let's find out. If it's third-degree assault. Let's find out if that is the case. We can't wait to find out. Because, do me, y'all. Told you I'm still sick. I got one of them things from a couple of years ago. Recovering. The reason I bring that up, that each one of these people will be charged, I need to go back to the family that started all of this, that we all saw jump that boat dock manager and beat him down. It had to be about 5 or 6 people on this man. They were charged with third-degree assault. Third-degree assault is sufficient only, far as I can see, for one person that they assaulted. And that was the young white boy, 16 years old, that actually drove the boat from the main boat or ferry that was in the middle of the river that couldn't park because the people wouldn't move their boat. He transported the boat dock manager, the black guy, to shore to try to get him to move their boat. When the situation first happened, when the incident happened, when the fight started, and they all piled up on him, on the boat dock manager, beating him, possibly on the way to beating him with inches of his life. When that young man, talking about the little white guy, I should have got his name, so I'm going to have to keep saying little white guy. People get so sensitive when we say white and black, but okay, him. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Kind of chubby, tall. When he tried to get them off of his co-worker, that one of the members of the family turned on him, looked over like, bitch, no you didn't. Oop, I didn't make it. Shoved him and came back with an uppercut in the gut. Third-degree assault. That was it. Young bad guy backed off. Okay? And I think I saw him maybe on a mic or something, a walkie-talkie or something. That's third-degree assault. But what they did to that boat dock worker is far greater than third-degree assault. I don't know exactly what the laws are in Alabama. I haven't looked at them in full. I only looked up a third degree assault. But from where I am, which is Michigan, it seems like every one of them that was over that boat dock manager should be charged with the minimum of first degree assault with the intent to do great bodily harm with possibility of death. However that is. There can be no less. But for some reason, it is. But that's Sagittarius, that ancient, malevolent entity that is over the tainted ideology of white supremacy and a bias system, racial system. It said, I will even change documentation. I will change your perspective. My people will not get in trouble because I am their God and I am following, and they are following me. This is what that Sagittarius energy said. Okay. And it said you can fill out. It said talking about Sagittarius. You can fill out all the papers you want. You can go through the blue tape, the bureaucracy, whatever. You do whatever you need to do, but you ain't gonna catch me and mine up. That's what Sagittarius said. Watch part 1, as well as my shorts and extended presentations for August 2023. So what was I talking about? I was talking about charges. Now I want to talk about how Alabama law enforcement partnered with their local FBI district and decided that what they saw, all of the videos they saw, they did not see. Even after witness testimony talking about how them people was walking up and down the dock using the N word like they owned it. All the witnesses out there. That the FBI never, between them and the FBI, never identified any evidence to elevate the charges from third degree assault to anything greater. Not great bodily harm, first degree assault with intent to do great bodily harm with the potential of murder or something like that. However it is. Nope, they couldn't elevate it to that. Or they couldn't elevate it to a racially motivated crime that end up invoking or triggering a riot. Why is that important? Again, that means because each individual person that came to the aid of that boat dock worker is going to be charged on an independent basis for their crime. So, let's talk about the man that first came down to kind of get them off of him that never took a swing on him. Of course, they're going to want to talk to him, but they're going to let him go. Why? Because they don't have any physical evidence, at least not from what was shown to the public, that he laid hands on anybody. So they're just going to take his testimony, listen to him, and then, send him out. But then let's go to the next person. That young boy that intentionally, what they call it, premeditated. He premeditatedly jumped off the boat, had that whole time to swim over, pulled himself up. The fight was at dispersed at the time, and then was ready to go in action when he came back up. He's going to be charged. That young 16-year-old boy is going to be charged, guess what? Probably with a felony because he was beating it out of whomever he was beating it out of. He laid the law down. He executed instant karma. All right. The ancestors within him. Oh, that's another thing Sagittarius said. You won't be able to, how did it say? We, the audience, the system doesn't even care. You won't even be able to see the ancestors on them. You, based on the laws, I'm talking about Sagittarius, the energy, the ancient benevolent entity, you won't even be able to bring up, point out, or use as evidence, because that's who I am, Sagittarius. I've been here a long time, and I've manipulated the laws and your perception and how you think, you comprehend. This is ancient benevolent entity. Say, you won't even be able to acknowledge and put forth that the ancestors was present. That's how big and bad I am. I, Sagittarius, that tainted ideology is almost bigger than life. Anyway, who else? The next person is the other boat dock members. Now, they was all putting work in, and I back them. Their family shouldn't have did what they did, bottom line. Okay. But I have to point out, because it is evident in the video. Look at it. My stuff messing up. It's evident in the videos that were shown that one of the boat dock workers, I think her name was Tammy or something like that. kind of, whipped on one woman, and then cast her on off into the water so she can cool off. She gonna be charged, probably, watch y'all, with an attempted, red rum. Because what if that woman couldn't swim? They're gonna make assumptions. Watch this. Watch this. These people need a lot of legal representation. They need people to fund them. And I'm saying this, I don't know who watch my videos or not. I know they're long. But they need, collectively, one attorney to stand up that's willing to pull all the resources in for them, all of them, and distribute it as needed until all the funds have been exhausted. And I say that because I've been trying to look for where to donate, because of our whole corrupt system, and everybody's fighting for a quality of life, to live life, to have the experiences they want. We commit fraud. People commit fraud everywhere, including Snapchat. What is it called? Snapchat, Cash App, GoFundMe. Get an official person that's willing to stand in intercession for all of you to take in all the money just for y'all legal expenses and like housing expenses and stuff. Y'all, and I say that even housing expenses we should cover. Descendants of slaves, as well as those that feel our plight, whomever you may be, of any other race, culture, creed, or sex, or whatever. Because these people, remember, they were confronted due to the sunken, being in a sunken place. We're talking about generationally slung into the sunken place, hundreds of years. They finally had to. The time was now. Why can't I get this active? The time was now to make a moral decision. They had to. Y'all, this experience that happened, why this thing won't move? I know my stuff glitching because I done clicked 20 times. They had to move. They had to. It was a call. They actually were executing a calling. And Sagittarius, that ancient malevolent spirit, it got most of us so tied down that we can't see what these people sacrificed. We didn't just experience or see people just that we may presume are just ghetto and aggressive and uneducated, all these opinions and what do you call them? I can't think of the term that we put on people, that they didn't have to do this or they didn't have to do that. The astrology said yes, they did. This was the time. Astrology is almost as big as life, but obviously it's not larger than that entity, ancient malevolent entity that is the composer of that tainted ideology. It's like whoever is recording everything that's happening on this planet, that is his job. It's just like the sun and the moon. They do not change their course without the command of the Creator. Whoever or whatever records everything that takes place on this planet, it can't intercede. All it can do is take notes and write everything down. It is far more vastly intelligent and comprehends at a quantum level than any human does. And so it writes out all of these reports. It keeps all the data, but it cannot intervene. Where this ancient malevolent entity I'm talking about, the composer or creator of such ideologies as the tainted ideology of white supremacy and the whole systematic racism, moves and influences this realm. And I was saying that for some reason. Okay. Criminal charges. Let me go back. Criminal charges will be issued to every individual. Even those, again, the young black guys that jumped off the back of the boat, known in my community as goons and gorillas and things, they are a product of the environment, a product of the social system, the whole construct. They will individually be charged. They are caught in between a rock and a hard place because I'm sure they got some pending stuff already going on. So everything needs to be addressed for those particular young men. It does. Everything. They need support. They also answered the calling of the ancestors. Ain't that something? Ain't good. It's one last person. I hope I'm not forgetting anybody. But it's one last person I got to talk about. Because he made it ring like a ring or a vibration go through everybody. And that's the chairman. The chairman did what he did. He embodied the ancestors and he did the boppity bappity boo with the famous folded chair. He made a folding chair famous. Yes, he did. And it is that last boopity bop that he did on that white woman on the ground that we all agree might have been a bit too far. But the question really is, when you're enraged, when you are in the heat of battle, you don't know who's who or what's what. It just is. It's no bars hold. That's how it is in reality. I don't care if it's my reality, your reality, a judge's reality. Now, you might not be in a scenario like that often or ever in life. It depends on who you are and how your life play out. But if you're ever in such a scenario, it's all bars hold. No bars hold. Period. Because you don't know who's who and what's what and what they gonna do and how they gonna move. You just moving to keep yourself alive. It is about survival at that moment when you in the heat of battle. So yeah, he did her a clickety clock, but she's still alive. She's still alive. When that boat dock, there ain't nobody looking at, against Sagittarius, that ancient benevolent entity ain't looking at how that boat dock captain could have lost his life. But what's they call assailants? Only the attackers only have been charged with third-degree assault. And the third-degree assault was only enacted by one family member against that little white boat, what they call a sub-boat manager, whatever, the little white guy. That was it. That was the only third-degree attack. That attack on that boat dock worker, as I said, was first-degree assault with intent to do great bodily harm with murder, potential murder, whatever it is. I don't know what Alabama laws is, but here that's something like that. Anywho, I think I'm getting lost. Anyway, they're gonna charge him and probably try to give her a victim's fee, so because she gonna have medical bills, they gonna say this and that, and that's how that's gonna go. Again, that's the Sagittarius thing, helping his demons out. Okay, but I spent so much time there because I have to go back to how Alabama law enforcement partner with their local FBI agency to deem that it was not enough evidence to elevate the charges from third degree assault to racial crime and also inciting a riot. The reason why that's important, and when they announced that and I heard that in the official press conference, I was very upset because again, that's Sagittarius executing itself, that ancient benevolent entity. So as long as they do not elevate these charges, my people, okay. But the rest of y'all, if this line is not moved up, the rest of y'all is screwed. Aquarius, listen, all y'all listen to my Aquarius reading. We all screwed. The workers, the people, you all screwed. Because the only thing that justifies anybody doing anything to them people was for that line to be moved up to I guess encapsulate that they had committed a race crime, or they had committed a crime based on a person's race. And because of the way they brutally attacked that man, incited a riot. Sagittarius, that ancient malevolent entity, is protecting his people. But we can't see. Okay. Alright, I'm about to close this video up. I got one more thing I want to cover. Is that I have some conspiracy theories about the whole thing. You didn't watch part 1, thank you. If you done been through this far on part 2, thank you. But now I'm going to go into my conspiracies. I have to say this much before I begin. Is that it is very unfortunate that I don't know how to, or know that I can, use a live active video to react to. I'm not doing so because my videos are way too long for me to play a live replay of the event only to be flagged or stopped by YouTube and say I inappropriately used somebody else's material. I don't have time for that. So I'm going to talk about what I view and tell you how I think that this whole Alabama Boat Brawl is what they call it, fake. It's fake. It was staged. It's fake. It's staged. Let me say that again. The whole Alabama River Boat Brawl seems to me personally to be staged. It does not take away from anything else I have said. It is what it is. That's the depth of it. That's the hidden part of it. That's the ethereal part of it that most of you can't see. Now let's talk about my conspiratorial, I'm making up words, conspiratorial commentary about the Alabama River Boat Brawl. Why do I say that it was staged? Well, here. One of the first things I heard about this brawl is that the black riverboat dock manager that ended up being attacked, well, he was originally on the boat. He's a co-pilot or what do they call a person that drives a boat? Whoever. He's the co-person of that. And to my understanding, that boat had been out in the river circling, preparing to dock for 45 minutes, waiting for these people to come and get their boat. Eventually, this co-captain, the black guy, had to take a small boat, what do they call it, like lifeboat, to shore. The little 16-year-old white boy, I should have got their name, y'all. I do apologize whether you're white, black, and everything. I don't have their names. Was the captain of the little dolly, little tiny life-saving boat. He drove the co-captain, the black, boat dock manager, over the shore to try to get them to move this boat, to get this boat moved. Okay. At that time, all of a sudden, people knew to start to film. Okay, that's number one. People knew to film. Like, oh, it's about to be some drama. But that's the world we live in now. I'll let that slide. The videos that we see, that I've seen anyway, pick up with this boat dock manager trying to negotiate with this white family to move their boat away from the commercial dock. They're illegally docked at the dock. You can see in the video that this family their body language is threatening to this dock manager. And we can see, I saw, that the manager kept trying to be peaceful and professional. And to just get them to move their boat. People been out there in the middle of the river for like 45 minutes. And you just gonna keep disregarding me. For what reason, y'all? You just gonna keep disregarding me for what reason, y'all? And not moving your boat. And so the manager moves the boat. And, here comes the family again. And now, this is where it really got interesting to me as I was watching these various videos. Is that one of the family members comes face to face with him, the boat dock manager, and shoves him. Boof! The boat dock manager at that point makes this decision. And the answer to the decision he made is reflected in him tossing his cap up. Why do I bring that scene up right there? I bring it up because, excuse me, the family member that approached him paused after pushing him. Paused. When you in battle, I've been in street fights. I'm from Detroit. I'm 53. I have one every freaking year. Period. So, the pause. I mean, other than being shocked, I guess. No, you didn't. You know. So, he pushed this man. He stepped back. Pause. Gonna wait. He waits so long that the boat dock manager take his hat off and cast it 15, 20 feet in the air onto the upper dock. The whole time, the person that was attacking had it pushed him, waited. He didn't, when he seen him go for a hat, he ain't going for a second attack. No, you're going to let him get his grounding, cast his hat off, and then come towards you. That ain't how it works. So once the boat dock captain came and launched towards the assailant, the person that attacked him in the first place, pushed him. I don't know the terminology. Now, they in a, they are, I don't know. Every arena of life, I have to say this, has its own terminology. And so right now, I don't know the terminology for wrestling. And I heard other people talk about this too. So I'm not the only one that perceived this. But wrestling, it's contact. You know, wrestling is a contact sport. So now the boat dock attendant and the family member are in contact. Strong arm contact. The family member hauls off to kind of sock the boat dock manager. Maybe the video is not clear, but it can't seem like a kind of open hand kind of thing when he swung at him. Not a fist, a hand. Then the boat dock manager kind of pushing him back. He's not fighting. It almost seems to me like he was still kind of, you know, what they want to say. I'm still trying to make up my mind if I want to lose my job or not, you know, or if I want to be sued or not. Because I know as a black person, part of the black experience, I'm gonna take the L. So he like kind of holding them back, grounding himself, and he putting the assailant is pushing him back. It comes this time on the dock where there is some obstacle behind the boat dock manager who is holding off the assailant with a strong grounded pushback. At that time, I watched over and over and over again that boat dock attendant slap him on the back. We talking about wrestling. There's a language in every arena of life. When he slapped him on the back and said pivot, we ain't got no more room to go there. Slapped him on the back, they pivoted and turned. And he push. The next scene that happens, remember, a second family member comes in, runs in and goes and jumps up around the boat captain's neck. We think that he's taking him down, but if you pay attention, it looked like to me that the boat dock captain did a wrestling move, grabbed his legs and cuffed him. So that means then that the second assailant that came in, the second family member, did this wrestling move, came up around wrestling. Wrestling. But I'm talking about it was like professional wrestling in this brawl, and it was also what they call more of like hardcore wrestling, like kickboxing kind of wrestling. So anyway, the second family member assailant comes in, runs into the scene, jumps up on the boat manager's neck. At the same time, the boat captain knows to wrap his arms around the man's legs and hit the ground. I done hit the ground before. I know the thump it make. So anyway, they hit the ground. Y'all gotta make me another drink because I'm about to get real silly. And then they kind of scuffling. when the rest of the family member pile up on him like in football. Okay. But I hadn't even really noticed much of nothing there. Only thing I noticed was how the boat dock captain tapped him on the shoulder. Pivot. You know, also in wrestling, when you got people in choke, the thing is, that means I can't take no more. We about to go in serious reality now. We practicing. That's how they do. Okay. So, next thing is, the guy from the top come down. Air support, as everybody saying. Come down, he getting all these people off of this boat dock captain. Boat dock captain get to his feet. Before he can get to his feet good, he stumbles as he moves across the dock, across the scene. When the boat dock captain stumbles, he falls. He discombobulated. He done just had 6 people on him. 5 or 6 people on him. Okay. Understandable. You know, plus we got to look in his body structure. I got a similar body structure, so I know about the tumble. I know how to, that I'm responsible for managing my weight, shifting my weight. You know, but in the heat of the moment, the boat dock captain wouldn't think about that. He just mad. We're going to say that's how we're perceiving it as the audience. This event is, we assume, is real. But I'm looking at it like, that was wrestling for real. Anywho, so now the scene starts to move across the dock. The boat dock captain ends up tripping on his own, the shifting of his own weight coming up out of being on the ground. Suddenly he falls back down. When he gets back up, here's another family member. One of the white women is there trying to block him from moving, advancing across the dock. And he kind of pushing her, trying to deflect her so he can move on past her. Okay. Now right then, see, ain't nobody talking about how it'd have been fair game had he knocked her out. I live in the hood. I know how it's really done. And I ain't saying, I think in every community it's the same thing. Unless you're very reserved and refined, then you just sue people and things like that. But that's me being, Anyway. After that moment of that boat dock manager encountering that woman that was attempting to block him from moving and advancing forward on the dock in pursuit of those who had just attacked him, all of a sudden, did y'all see it? I'm just asking, did y'all see it? Did y'all see how I got to use the word, y'all, and I'm not racist. At least I don't think I am. I love everybody. I love Jesus. He loved me. I love everybody. He loved them. As long as you don't, cross the line, it's all good. That's for anybody. It don't matter. Anywho, I just said that because I'm about to say white again. Caucasian. I don't know what terminology you like or whatever fits and suits you and soothes you. And that's for anybody. The next thing I know in the next scene is that all the white Caucasian people glitch. I know I done watched that scene 50 times. I done blew that scene up 40 times. I done put it in slow motion, y'all, about a half dozen times. Watching it. Every single white person on that dock that is a part of that event begins to glitch or fade out until they fucking transparent. Please, somebody explain that to me. I even looked for the black people to fade. And the only one that kind of faded or kind of glitched was a young 16-year-old black male that swam across the river to get to the dock and pull himself up. As he was pulling himself up, he kind of faded, which was understandable because he was just coming out of water. He was actually in motion. That was another thing I was at. I did it a half dozen times. So I stopped it, slow motion it, have it move forward frame by frame. And I'm looking like, okay. I say maybe these white people are glitching out or fading into transparency totally across the scene. I know everybody in the world or in the United States see this stuff because they moving. So I rewound it or started again, whatever the terminology is for this time frame. And you know what? The black people's moving. Actually, the black people were being more animated because the black boat dock attendant was trying to divert her to the side. He wasn't glitching. I wish I knew some folk that was really there, so they could tell me what they saw. How close was the closest person? I think that was staged, y'all. I ain't never seen such glitching in all my life. And I done watched so many of those same videos over and over and over again. People's different videos. You know, I mean, it's the same person made the video, but everybody get their hands on it. I done watched them. I done slowed them down. I done moved them to slow crawl. I done pulled myself all the way up to the TV. I done magnified my TV. And no matter what I do, all them white people doing those scenes fade out, glitch into transparency. At times they disappear and they come back. Okay. Ooh, I'm so hot. I'm almost done, y'all. I'm almost done because I'm hot. I am really, really hot. Was there anything else? Oh. So now I want to move to the other end of the dock with the chairman and that whole scene. And then after that, I'm done. Only 2 hours and 30 something minutes. Isn't that wonderful to me? Anywho, talking about how I think that this actual Alabama River Boat Brawl was staged. The next thing that I look at is, and another thing is, we have some hell of a commentators. The women that commentated. Everybody, the one from the dock. Oh, I gotta stop, y'all. I just thought about something. Okay, you got there is footage of the boat, people on the boat, and they're actually panning and they're picking up all the boat dock workers, y'all. Out of all the people on that boat, I think they said 200 something souls on that boat. There is a video that exists that shows pans and shows all the the crew members on that boat. That young man that swam the shore, the woman that threw the lady over in the river, and a couple others. And the shorter lady with the big puff on her head like I got. All of them was standing at the edge of the boat just looking. What's the chances? Are they going through footage and saying this will show what happened? This will show what's happened. This will ensure that the people's perception they see what happened. Because they have to remember, these entities have to tell you the truth. That's my video to my Lord, forgive us for we know not or something like that. They have to show us what really happened. But they can also mess with, persuade our perspective, manipulate our perspective. It's up to us to stay conscious and know what you know. You know, do you trust your own senses? Or is you going to let some narrative or some narrator narrate to you and change your whole perspective? Okay, that's something. I digress. Something else. So, excuse me. Again, I'm sick, y'all. Overcoming. Drinking this hot tonic. I mean, I'm hot. The tonic is room temperature. So they pan and they show all of the other crew members that end up being an active part of the brawl. What's the chances? Another scene that happens around that time is they pan up the stairs of the boat and you see two women. And those two women are the same women that came and became an active part of the brawl relative to the white woman in the red shirt that got bumped over the head by the chairman. Those two women, once they got off the boat, remember when this first started, when this footage of them is taken, they're in the middle of the river. The boat still hasn't docked. But yet, imagery of them exists, standing on a staircase, looking on, being the audience, and witnessing what is taking place on the dock, a few yards away. And we see the lady with the, I think she had blonde, black hair in the front and a blonde ponytail in the back, or right reverse. And we see her homegirl beside her in the footage. These are again the two that came the pull the white woman off in the red off of the men that were fighting on the opposite end of the dock to handle that woman before the chairman bibbity bopped and took her out. Okay. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the different scenes that suggest to me, when you really look at it, that all of this was staged. Staged. So, am I saying that all the crew members knew and the white family knew what was going on? They were all enacting a part of the script. I don't know. The only ones I really don't think knew, probably, were those black men that jumped off the back of the boat. Those that's in my community known as goons, as gorillas. You know, no bars hold. They do what they do because they survive. They probably got outstanding warrants or other legal issues. Saw black men being brutally assaulted. And they said, fuck every warrant I got. I'm sorry, I didn't make it. Bump every warrant I got. I know I want it, but that ain't right. And I'm going in to help cuz. That ain't really probably they biological cuz. Could be, might not be. Could be a biological cuz, aunt, uncle, dad. But it might not be. But they were emotionally moved. Remember, if I know this, if I can decode this kind of stuff in the stars, and in our real world, there are powers that orchestrate scenarios and situations for their own purposes, then they can presume that there are going to be people that are moved. And I think the people that were moved, I actually think the only people that were moved were the goons. Because I'm telling you how I know they were real goons. Number one, everybody has their character traits. Those goons, the ones primarily had dreads on or do-rags on, that's hood signature. The skipping, getting bout. You know how you get ready to fight in Mortal Kombat? They be like, when you fight, you got to get them limbs loose. You ready? Like, come on, let's do this. You know, so the whole skip and the pulling up pants, we know, in the hood, they don't be wearing belts. Their pants a couple sizes too big. It's called a sag. You know, so, I mean, that's a very specific character trait that is relative to a particular grouping of people. And they embodied that. So if that was acting, Academy Award. But I actually think, in reality, these are people that were emotionally triggered. They were triggered because they seen Unc getting jumped by another race. I think that was the gist of it. And when they got off that boat, they was waiting. Them the niggas that probably couldn't swim. So they was taking a chance. You know how we had those cliches attached to us that niggas can't swim. Black people can't swim. I can't make it, y'all. I've been drinking. Y'all seeing who I really am in my real time life. Oh, gosh. Accept me for who I am or not. It is up to you. And so, I think they were emotionally triggered. That's what they do. They goons. They gorillas. They came to the aid of Unc. They probably didn't know Unc. But they saw the unjust. And they knew they had warrants and shit. I'm sorry. They knew they had warrants and stuff. And so they went into action. When that boat docked, they got off. And they came to his rescue. They came to even the odds and to execute instant karma. And I think they were casualties of this war or this battle that was fought. Because this shit was staged. Okay? So what was I saying? Back to that side of the dock where the women came and handled the one woman before she got bumped. Then we have these older gentlemen that were fighting. I heard that the reason that fight started on that side of the dock is because some of the family members were walking the dock using the N-word freely. Vulgarly using the N-word. And it probably triggered them. Are they a part of the setup or aren't they? I don't know. But I know that each of those older gentlemen that had to fight showed great restraint, especially one that was just using his hands to choke him, because he could have knocked that man out and he never made it to the running board of the boat to get bumped with the chair. Showed great restraint. His clothing, nice. And I'm talking about his clothing because it does suggest being a sailor or something, because he had on white pants, a white and black striped shirt, and a little cap. So it kind of suggests being a sailor or something like that. But it could just that he knew he was going to be on a boat, so he's just dressing fashionably appropriate. So I don't know if these particular characters are part of the setup or not, or were they responding, were they getting off the boat undocking, and these people walking past them using racial slurs, and they turn around like, what up? Watch your mouth. And they probably said they didn't have to wash their mouth, and so they gave him the work. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, so we see the tall, but he might be about 6 feet or so, handling the man with his hands, really just walking him around the place. Wanting to choke, pop his head off. That's what he wanted to do, but he didn't do it, y'all. He didn't do it. So anyway, while around, he backed the man into the boat. His other older gentleman is, laying a couple of punches on the guy, as well as holding off the other guy in the salmon colored shorts and the t-shirt and the visor or whatever, because I guess he wanted to get some. Okay, again, I don't know if them people openly knew what was going on, because again, I think it was a setup, or were they just getting off the boat like this some bullshit, I'm about to go home, I'm too old for this shit, and then motherfucker walked past him and was saying some stuff that they shouldn't have been saying out their mouth, and then get the clocking on them. Respect. Restore. Another thing about Taurus, the zodiac sign Taurus, is about respect. It is about respect socially, and that thing about equality and the equal distribution of natural resources in life, and the equal distribution of the ability to pursue your own presumed need for life, liberty, and happiness, and things like that. Anyway, I have to pull back from that, divert. What is it called? You know what I'm saying? I've been drinking. I ain't gonna continue drinking. Right, till I have a hangover today. I ain't got nothing important to do. What time is it? Okay. Alright. The last person I want to talk about, I do believe, unless something else comes to mind, is the chairman. Chairman. Interesting play on words. The chairman. The reason why I want to talk about the chairman, again, relative to my conspiracy my conspiracy that this was all staged, is that here's wrestling again. We have a dock, a commercial dock, that is known for loading and transporting people up and down the dock, listening to music, eating, having a good time, returning them, and then doing it all over again. When you look at the scenes that are shown on that side of the dock, you see one single little white chair just sitting there. Wasn't 2 white chairs. Wasn't 3 white chairs. It wasn't no chair at all. Which seemed like my cuz, and I've talked about it many times, owned a boat. He owned a yacht. And we used to go yachting. And there was rules for the dock. And the thing is, you didn't lay stuff around the dock. You didn't wear slippery shoes and flip-flops on the dock. Because what? You could trip, you could fall, and you could slip, da-da-da-da. But on this commercial dock is one little white chair sitting there. Where'd it come from? Why didn't no security or other dock attendant move that chair that was a potential hazard to anybody, even outside of this whole incident? The chairman. He finds the chair. He picks up the folding chair and commences to molly-whopping on these people's heads. We all know that that is a signature entertainment staple relative to, what is it, WWF, what was the World of Wrestling or whatever, the World Wrestling Association, whatever it is, I don't even know, WWF. He got a whipping on him with a chair. Now what's the chances of that? And he was maneuvering or executing or wielding that chair so masterfully, as if planned. I don't know. I done been in a lot of street fights in my life. I'm 53 again. I'm born, bred, and raised here in Detroit. But I have never thought about picking up a chair to whoop a mother. Never. But that one little chair was there. So, what am I saying? I do believe that Alabama River Boat Brawl was staged. I do not believe all the people that we saw actively involved in the brawl were a part of that of the theatrics. I think some things naturally flowed. And the example of those naturally flowing occurrences were the young black men that I consider are considered guerrillas or goons in my community. But for the rest of the characters, I think it was staged. I think it was planned. I think it was a script that was enacted. For what purpose, I'm not quite sure. Other than to elevate and to bring to life and to entertain the spiritual entity of that. I don't even know the name of the spirit. That benevolent entity or spirit that is the composer or creator of white supremacy. Entertain for its entertainment purposes. To bring itself to the forefront of the consciousness of society, or of humanity, or the social arena of humanity. It was all staged. Everything from the boat dock attendant, I think he was a part of it. I don't even know if the little white boy was a part of it. I don't. I think he was just doing his job and got clobbered in the belly. I think that of the white people, I don't know, is it possible, y'all? I might be reaching. But why were they glitching or blurring out until they were actually transparent, even turning invisible at certain seconds? Were they some of this holographic stuff they were talking about? Is it? I don't know. Or is it some part of the continence of Caucasian people when being filmed, I guess, from a distance? I don't know. But all that was fake. And then, again, showing all of the crew members that would soon be an active part of that brawl. I'm saying all of those crew members. From the young man that swam across the river to the woman that threw him in the water, and the other few African American boat attendants that got in and put female boat attendants that went once ashore, got into the midst of it. I think they were all part of the stage event, as well as the women up on the boat. Just by chance, they were right there, within about 20 feet or 30 feet of those boat attendants. Just them two, out of all of them people on the boat. Them two that handled that woman in the red dress that got bopped over her head with the chair that ended the whole fight. On that side of the dock anyway. Well, on the other side of the dock, they was already arresting black people. That's another thing. It was how things were executed and done. There are so many witnesses that were saying what was happening to the police when they arrived. But yet, again, communications come in differently. We have spoken communications, written communications, and we got body language or actions as communication. And what was communicated there, again, once again, is that black people are looked at as the aggressors. The first people that hit the floor and that were handcuffed were black people. Even though the initial attack, the initial trigger to all that went on, that was shown to us all, was that it was a white family. They were the last to be handcuffed, the last to be arrested. They were charged with a minimal charge, criminal charge. Well, even criminal charge, misdemeanor charge. Gotta point it out. Misdemeanors and felonies are different. Misdemeanors are fairly insignificant. Felony charges, chairman, and things like that, and what's it called? What's the word? Talking about the boy that swam across. Premeditated assault. I don't even know if that's a charge. But it was fully premeditated because it took him so long to swim over. He could have thought about it. And then when he got over there, the fight had ended or settled down. And then was ready to go action when it came. That was premeditated fully. You know what I'm saying? All it said to be staged. What's the message? What is the ultimate message? I'm going to stop because I can go on and on and on and on, y'all. On and on and on and on and on and on. So, the truth of the matter is, I done brought everything to light through my, showing you how I perceive everything through every lens. From the lenses, when I say lenses, I'm talking about my personal perspective. I do believe, personal perspective is a bias in itself. It is. But I do believe it's a righteous perspective that I have. I'm sharing with you what I've experienced as an individual person, as a black person, as a woman, and I'm giving you a perspective based on that. I'm also giving you the perspective through astrology. I don't know what's in astrology until I sit down here for hours upon hours, even days and months to interpret the stars. That perspective I'm giving to you. I'm giving you a perspective where I overlay what I interpreted using my generic terminology with what the reality is, and I'm offering it to you these lenses. I'm even sharing with you what I actually believe, my conspiracies, that this is staged. That event on August 5th of this year, which is 2023, which has been entitled the Alabama River Boat Brawl, is staged. That perspective. Yeah, I give it all to you. With all the evidence I presented to you during this live stream, I ask you, for what? What is the intent? And the intent is executed, or the intent is pursued or executed. I don't know which one to say. I'm going to drink it. By who? And for what purpose? Is somebody trying to incite a race war? Just asking. And I say that because every aspect that I've talked about over the course of part 1 and 2 of this, what is it called? I don't even know what it's called. Part 1 and 2 of the of my live streams, has uncovered, it has revealed, it has identified the various dimensions and aspects, all the textures associated with this event. And to me, I guess one thing I need to talk about before I let you go, I got 7 minutes before this is a 3-hour long video, is how black people, African Americans, felt after witnessing the various scenes captured on video. I can't lie to you. I was up like, whoa, this is how I was. No, they didn't. I was happy that people came and interceded. I was happy that people stepped in and executed instant karma, didn't let these people ride away. I was happy. I was happy to see that my people willing to stand, because in my community, I've been looking at my neighbors and people like, okay. I always say, don't nobody like me here, where I am too much. But after seeing that video, I was looking at my community like, yeah, I know what's going on inside of you. I know what you got the potential to do if needed to be. I know we some peaceful people, that we some loving people. But I also know if it needs to be done, we can do it. That's what that event sparked in me. I was proud of all of them people on the surface level, is what I'm saying. But when I got to looking at the video with a deeper, I don't know, pierce or comprehension That's when I seen that on this is staged. And that's when I went to breaking it down. Nevertheless, whether it's real or staged, it has an intent behind it. And I feel like the intent, I don't know what it is. I've heard others recently in the last day or so say that, it was kind of political strategy. Maybe that is in the world. But what I see, y'all, I don't know if you follow me or not. I got a video out here where I think it's entitled, I don't even know what it's entitled, Horrific Visions. Horrific Visions. That's where you can see my hair done fell out and all things. I'm just on here. I talking about eating a peyote pie, a piece of a sweet potato pie infused with cannabis, and how I went and the things that I was seeing, and it wasn't good. It wasn't good. So go watch that video if you have time. I fucked up. I didn't mean to do that. Y'all seeing me in my natural habitat and my natural behaviors. I apologize. This is a public forum and children are on it, so I do apologize, babies. Anywho, I bring it up because, and I shared it in part 1. I even talked about it here. That with all the trauma that has happened to particular races, not a racist, races, a particular race, RACE, a particular race, all the trauma. They, this is a proverb, if I can get it right, have stayed humble. We settled for sub-level housing, being, told what area we gotta move in. We have dealt with the disproportion of even like bills. Let me talk about disproportion of bills. I'm talking about the disproportion of like auto insurance. Most people of the opposite persuasion pay less for their auto insurance. But people of my persuasion pay more for their auto insurance. We've dealt with it. We've tried to pay to the best of our ability. We've also had to deal with the consequences for non-payment or inability to obtain adequate auto insurance. This is just an example. We have been criminalized for not like me. Y'all always hear me, I take public transportation. You know why? Because I can't afford the insurance rates that's given to me. Even though I'm not out here wilding out, driving reckless or nothing. And over the course of my life insurance has never gotten better. I have walked. I have hitchhiked for rides. I got sores on the bottom of my feet from so much walking. Carrying groceries, everything, carrying my family, going back and forth to school, to PTA, it never ended. But I kept the peace. I mean, I had everything, all kinds of things happen to me where I kept the peace. And the reason why I kept the peace is because I knew I was alone. Let me try to explain what it means to be alone. Being alone. If I turned up at any given time in my life, in any sector of my experience, I would have just been locked up, thrown away, or put into a mental institution. I know that. It would, in order for my turn up to be successful, it would have to be in unison with other people, many other people, to justify why I may be imprisoned or, just psychiatric ward or whatever. That's the only thing that would justify me doing it. My point is, if I moved on any injustice that I experienced in my life through the systematic racism that exists, I would have just been buried by myself, alone, in the sunken place, in the dark place. But God, whoever they may be, God, Allah, Buddha, whoever, Krishna, whoever, however you like to label it, you know how I say it. When I was young, trained me. That's a drinking. But I'm gonna get real with y'all now. Now, many people will see this. I don't get many views, so I'm gonna testify here. How about that? That's my new term. How about that? Trained me when I was younger. It's these moments that I have in which I understand what is occurring in this real physical world. That I really understand what is occurring to me in my life. Those things outside of society that I feel are so unjust on the spiritual level. Like, God, why? God, why? I'm a good girl. Why? You know, it makes it make sense. Things have begun to make sense to me. And I am so thankful and so appreciative that the Creator, whoever they may be, has allowed me this moment to experience that which puts everything in perspective for me. To understand why I've went through the things I've went through. I do. I'm so thankful. Oh, I'm intoxicated. And not only am I intoxicated, I forgot what I was about to say. But that's normal with liquor or without. I'm going to show y'all again what I've been drinking. Where does it go? Can it? Not trying to improperly influence people, but just let you see who I really am and what I'm really into. But I can honestly say I am moved to tears. And I'm not talking about tears of sadness. I'm talking about tears. I'm experiencing a utopia moment, a moment of ecstasy, because astrology has been so real, you know, and it has shown me. I feel the people that were just what do they call it? What do you call it? I said it earlier. Products of their environment and casualties of war during all this Alabama Boat Brawl stuff. Casualties of war. That's what they are. That's what they've experienced in all their life. I'm talking about the goons, the guerrillas, etc., etc. Thankful. I'm thankful for whatever is greater than me. I'm sorry, I got next. I think they're coming out my air conditioner. Oh, another thing. I'm thankful to God for letting me see. I really am. I know a lot of people, and they can't see. In worldly, they are so arrogant. Arrogant. Oh my God. I got a high level of arrogance. They are so arrogant. And they are so arrogant about things, I think, that really in the spirit, and I'm talking, I know I'm sidebarring off on some other stuff. This is how I feel. That really don't matter in this world. It's really insignificant. And it's so arrogant. I just shared here on my YouTube channel how I was a part, you know, throughout my life on the in crowd. I've been in and out the crowd. I couldn't hold my character. I couldn't hold it. Never could hold my character. And I say that, and I'm talking about that because I'm just thankful that I am permitted to see that whomever the Creator, the God, or Buddha, or Allah, whoever, made a way for me to be able to see, and that is through astrology. So I'm very thankful. All my life experiences brought me here to even study astrology, and I can see. So I am at this point very humble and very thankful. I don't know who may watch my video even to this point of my testimony, I don't even know. But y'all, for real, it's real. Either I am insane, you choose for yourself, or I'm really having I'm a spiritual being having a human experience, and a part of this physical experience I have mastered. I invite you to do the same thing. If you need help getting there, continue to come over here to my channel, which is Can Angels Fly? And I think they can. Until next time, y'all. Bye.